Fine. Let us start, bhai. Shishir bhai. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the webinar on Secrets to Reversing Diseases. Let Food Be Your Only Medicine by Mr. Karan Kakkar, hosted by VERT 278, VELC 178, SRT 318, and SLC 176 of RT Roundtable and Ladies Circle Area 8. I welcome you all. I welcome our Area 8 Chairman, LMF Tabler Kushal Bhargav, and our Area 8 Chairperson, Circular Megha Singhania. I would like Kushal Bhargav to speak few words before we start the session.
KBI mute.
Thank you, Shishir and Kunal. Guys, I welcome on behalf of Area 8 Roundtable India, Mr. Karan Kakkar. And what a tagline that he has regarding the secrets to reversing disease is let food be only your medicine. Very rightly said, and I hope that it will be a very, very eye-opener session to each and everyone present here. And the spark that will be created or would be set from here, I think everyone would be mouth publicizing the every bit and every word spent on this session, because this is the need of the hour and it is one of the most burning topics currently. So I wish both 318 and 278 and the LC for organizing such a wonderful event. Welcome all the other area people and other dignitaries of Area 8 and other areas. Well done, Kunal, for this wonderful event, and best wishes. Hope everyone enjoys and take lots of things for their daily routine. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Kushal bhai.
Thank you, Kushal bhai.
I would now request Area Chairperson, Circular Megha Singhania, to please say a few words.
Hi, everyone. Many congratulations to Varanasi Elite Table and Circle and Sitapur Roundtable and Circle for organizing such a fabulous session. Secrets to reversing diseases and let food be your only medicine is a need of the hour with the current pandemic going on and with so many diseases going on. I think we really need to switch to an alternate to medicines, and this is a wonderful initiative organized taken by you all, and really looking forward to it. And I hope we all get over with all the diseases soon and take help of all the tips that you give us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Megha.
Thank you.
Pratik bhai, as Mr. Karan Kakkar is here, now should I start with the intro also?
He's here. We can start.
Okay. So again, a warm welcome everyone to Area 8. I would like to introduce you Mr. Karan Kakkar. He is an international nutrigenomic and disease reversal expert based in India. He is an expert in holistic nutrition and also associated with American Fitness Professional and Associates. His passion in medical nutrition led to the birth of Reverse Factor, which is backed by an extensive research in the field of nutrigenomics, which is the scientific study of the interaction of nutrition and genes. Nutrigenomics has revolutionized the world of prevention, treatment, and reversal of lifestyle diseases. He is doing his PhD in epigenetics. He personally consults celebrities like Mr. Mukesh Ambani and Mrs. Neeta Ambani, Bajaj family, the automobile tycoon of India, the Birla family, and many more in the industry. We welcome you, Mr. Karan Kakkar, in Area 8 seminar. Thank you for doing this seminar for us.
Thank you so much for lovely introduction. Are we good to start?
Yes, sir.
Amazing. Thank you so much, everyone, for getting this organized. It is indeed a pleasure to be in front of each and every one of you and to share what we feel can be of immense benefit to each and every one of you today. I would want to make this session very, very interactive. And so in case you have any questions, feel free and ask me 1000 times, because what is most important is that all of us, I think I can see around 77 people joining in today. I think one of the most important thing for all of us is that when we move out of this session after an hour or so, we should be very, very clear in terms of our concepts. We should be empowered with right information as to what is right and what is not right in terms of our health. And I think one of the most important thing for all of us is that when all of us, all 70-80 people who are there today, when all of us are in our 60s and 70s and 80s, we should be fit, fine, healthy. I mean, there is nothing more important than the fact that we should be fit, fine, healthy when we are 70s and 80s. And the only way we can be fit, fine, healthy in our 70s and 80s is if we focus on right immunity, if we focus on right habits. One of the most misleading word in this planet is diet. Nobody should ever do any diets. It is all about right habits. It is habits that will reverse disease and not any diets. That is something that we need to understand. So there will be a presentation which will be shared with all of you right now. I want all of you to look at that presentation, and in case you have any questions, feel free, and you can ask n number of times as you want, but let us all ensure that we understand, right, what is right and what is not right. So there is a chat box which is there with all of you. So if you have any questions, feel free and write in the chat box which is there, so that I can immediately take up your questions and I can answer those questions, right? So Shireen, we can share the presentation, please. Great. Perfect. So you can just make it full screen. Yeah, great. So all of you, I would request all of you to look at the presentation and let us begin. So let's proceed. Right. So what are we expecting out of today's session? All right. So first and foremost, what the difference between long-term and short-term health. This is something which is very, very important, and I want all of you to understand this very, very carefully. Majority of people only focuses on short-term. कि 3 महीने में हमें 10 किलो कम करना है, 4 महीने में 15 किलो कम करना है. That is not important. Important is long-term health. Yes, losing weight now is also important, but focus on long-term. We should not do anything today which will create long-term implications, right? So for example, there is something known as keto diet. Now keto diet really helps you lose weight very fast, but that is really not a good idea if you want to create long-term good health. We see so many patients on a day-to-day basis, who might have done some kind of keto diet, lost weight, but now they have uric acid problem, they have gout issues, kidney issues, and other issues, which is not a good idea, right? So we always need to focus on long-term health rather than doing anything for short-term. Next. Building habits and not diet. So this is one thing which I really was mentioning, that none of us should do any diets. It is all about building long-term habits that will really help us reverse disease. Next. So how do we build healthy habits? This is something that we need to understand, and I'll be throwing a lot of light on that. Moving ahead. How can we influence immunity? In fact, immunity is one thing that all of us have been speaking about. And with COVID around the corner, we all know now the importance of immunity. In fact, immunity has to be one of the thing that has to be with you if you want to create long-term good health. So how do we build immunity? What are those basic things that we can easily do at homes which can help build immunity of each and everyone at our house? And last is 10 things I will be sharing with you that can really help build immunity and good health. Next. So the science that we practice is known as nutrigenomics. Now, what is nutrigenomics? how nutrition can change your genes is something known as nutrigenomics. Now, this is very powerful when it comes to reversing disease, and we'll throw a lot of light on this subject as well. Next. Now, broadly speaking, there are two types of disease. Number one is infection disease or acute disease. And number two is chronic disease or more lifestyle disease. All right. Now, what are the examples of infection or acute disease? So things like polio, malaria, dengue, all of these are infection disease. And lifestyle disease are blood pressure, diabetes, thyroid, joint pain. Those are lifestyle disease. Okay. I want all the participants who are present today, just type in the chat box and tell me, according to you, which one of these diseases were more 100 years back? Did we had more lifestyle disease, or did we had more infection disease 100 years back? Which one of the two were more 100 years back, lifestyle or infection driven disease? All right. If you look at data, you'll realize that infection disease, okay, infection disease were more prevalent 100 years back. Okay, correct. So Shelly says infection disease, correct. So we had more, yes, Sanket, we had more infection disease 100 years back and very less lifestyle, very less lifestyle disease. I mean, just go back. How many people had high blood pressure? How many people had heart disease 100 years back? But you look at last 30, 40 years, every other household has someone suffering from joint pain, from asthma, from diabetes, from thyroid, some form of fatty liver, kidney problem. Last 30, 40 years, lifestyle disease has become an epidemic. Every other house has someone suffering from some kind of lifestyle disease. So next, look at data. The issue is 1920, 1930, death in India because of lifestyle disease was just 10%. But look at 2015 statistics. Death in India because of lifestyle disease in 2015 was around 67%, which means that if 100 people are dying in the country, 67 are dying because of lifestyle disease, which did not exist in the first place 100 years back, right? So this is something which is very, very alarming, and that is something that we need to realize. So lifestyle disease is the biggest epidemic. In fact, look at COVID. Now there are n number of studies and we have seen n number of people, and there are a lot of data now which says that people who have comorbidity, who have high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney problem, fatty liver, heart disease, they are more risk of having infection disease like coronavirus, which is an infection disease, right? Why? Because their immunity is anyways on a very, very low front. So the idea is, how can we stay fit, fine, healthy, long term, and not have, insulins and medicines, because, in fact, one of the things that we really need to understand is that it is never about medicine or no medicine. It is always about treating the root cause of the disease. Imagine my fasting sugar is 100 and Kunal's fasting sugar is also 100, but I am taking 4 medicines, 2 insulin injections, and then my fasting is 100 and his fasting sugar is 100 without any medicine or insulin. On paper, it might be 100 for both, but biologically, he is much better than what I am, correct? So that is something that we need to understand. It is never about medicine or no medicine. It is always about treating the root cause of the problem, right? Let's proceed. So the issue here is that lifestyle diseases have become an epidemic, and that is something that needs to be addressed. Next. Now, let us look at data, common lifestyle diseases. Let's run through this, Shireen. So every 33 seconds, someone in India dies because of heart attack. Just imagine this. This is 2015 statistics again. Every 33 seconds, someone in India dies because of heart attack, which means if I've been talking since last 10 minutes, 20 people have died because of a heart attack for a disease that should not even exist in the first place, right? 3 out of 10 Indians have high cholesterol, which again puts them to higher risk of heart disease. Next. Almost 40% Indians have some form of arthritis or joint pains. 1 in 3 people have high blood pressure, okay, which is again not a good sign. So many young people, 25 years, 30 years patients we are seeing who have high BP. 1 out of 5 have fatty liver, okay. Look at child obesity, okay. Next, child obesity has risen 100% in last 30 years. This is very, very alarming. You know, in fact, just look at it like this. When we were young, eating out was once a week, once in 10 days, once in a fortnight, okay. And we had selected places where you used to go with the family. But now, you know, eating out has become so common, okay. You know, ordering food, online deliveries, Zomato and all of that. Now, once in a while is okay, but when that becomes our habit, that really creates a lot of issue, right? So data again shares that lifestyle diseases is something that we really need to be careful about, and it is all about our habits which are going to make a difference. Next. Now, so what should we do? And when we understand that, you know, it is alarming, so the answer to lifestyle diseases is not another pill, okay? Understand this, when we had infection disease, taking an antibiotic, taking a pill makes sense. You have an infection, you take antibiotic, wo theek ho jata hai. But when you have lifestyle disease, you know, just popping a pill and thinking that you're okay is not a solution. And therefore, most people who have diabetes, blood pressure, they start with 1 medicine, 2 medicine, then they gradually move to 3 medicine, 5 medicine, 7 medicines. Now, are you getting better? Are you not getting better, right? So the answer is lifestyle intervention, which is very, very important. Next. Now, so any food on this planet can be divided into 3 broad categories. Now, here it becomes very interesting. All of you, I want you to be very, very interactive and let us understand very carefully. Any food on this planet can be divided into 3 broad categories. Number 1 is animal food, okay? Number 2 is processed food. And number 3 is plant foods, correct? There's nothing outside this. Either it is animal food, or it is processed food, or it is plant foods. Now, I want all of you to type in the chat box and tell me which one, according to you, out of this 3 is the best. Is it animal foods, or is it processed foods, or is it plant foods? Just type in the chat box which one, according to you, out of this 3 is the best. Yes, plant foods, amazing. All right. Plant foods, Soumya Pooja says plant foods. Excellent, plant foods. Great. All right, all right. Perfect. So most of you understand that plant foods are much, much better compared to processed and animal foods. Great. Now, is there any enlightened soul in this group who believes processed foods are the best? Any enlightened soul in this group? Amazing. I think most of us have agreed that plant foods are the best, and that is something that we need to focus about. Now, let us go in details and understand this. Now, if you have any questions, feel free, write in the chat box, but let us get this very, very straight. Now, animal foods is, you know, non-veg and dairy, which is animal protein. Processed foods, anything that comes in a packet, bhujia, chips, kurkure, cornflakes, anything that comes in packet. Plant food, fruit, vegetable, beans, sprouts, rajma, chola, all of that, that is nature has given us, you know, plant foods. Now, let us understand, scientifically proven, next, scientifically proven that animal foods and processed foods increases your risk of lifestyle diseases, whereas plant foods help you reverse lifestyle diseases, which all of you agree, all of you who have given answer, all of you agree that plant foods are much, much better, and it is plant foods that help you reverse disease, and it is animal and processed foods that help you increase lifestyle diseases. Now let us understand why. So many reasons, but let us look at the top 2 reasons. So number 1 is antioxidant, okay? Now, you know what is antioxidant? So if you cut an apple, you just cut an apple, you keep an apple outside, that apple turns yellowish, brownish, okay? Why? Because that apple has life. You cut a biscuit or a bread or bhujia, you keep it outside, that doesn't turn brownish. Why? Because that thing doesn't have life. So any living organism where oxygen goes inside, you have oxidization, and you have oxidization. So we are living beings, we have living cells. So we need to eat food which has a lot of antioxidants. And out of these three categories, it is only plant foods which are very high on antioxidants compared to animal and processed foods. So plant foods are very high in antioxidants, so you need to focus more on plant foods. Second, and very, very important reason, okay, very, very important reason is fiber. People who eat fiber, they don't get overweight, they don't get diabetes, they don't get heart disease. So fiber is very, very important if you want to reverse lifestyle disease. And you know what? Fiber is found only in plant foods. You don't get fiber in animal foods. You don't get fiber in processed foods. You get fiber only in plant foods. So these are the top two reasons why you should be eating more plant foods and not have animal and processed foods. So this is something that we need to understand. All right, next. Another way to look at food is macronutrient and micronutrient. Now, macronutrient is protein, carbs, and fats. All right. And micronutrient is vitamin, minerals. And there's this third class, which is known as phytonutrients. Okay. Now, 95% doctor, dietitians, whoever you talk to, they only focus on macronutrient. All right. That हमें कितना protein खाना चाहिए, कितना carb खाना चाहिए, कितना fat खाना चाहिए. But tell me something, 100 years back, did anybody worry kitna protein, carb, fat khana hai? We should also not worry. If we want to create long-term good health, if you want to reverse disease, you need to ensure that khane peene se every day you are eating lot of micronutrient. Khane peene se vitamin, minerals, phytonutrients, ye sab aapke andar zyada jane chahiye. Now what is phytonutrients? Phyto means plant. All right. So phytonutrients means different colors that you get from plant foods. Okay. So now for all of you, my message number one to all of you, eat more plant foods. All right. Very, very important. Message number two for each and every one of you is eat more colors. When you eat more color, red, yellow, green capsicum, gajar, beet, broccoli, red cabbage, when you eat different colors, you get different benefits. All right. Next, in fact, there was a very large study which showed 74% people do not eat enough red. Okay. 69% people do not eat enough green. 83% people do not eat enough white. Now see, let us not get into technical names, but let us understand. So white में जो आपके सामने लिखा है phytonutrients, EGCG, L-lysine. So these are different compounds that help reverse disease. Now, L-lysine is a compound which is found in garlic. All right. L-lysine is a compound which is found in garlic, which is excellent for anti-cancer, which is very, very good for fatty liver, which is very, very good for reversing diabetes. Now, so when you eat different colors, now just go back, Sheen. Just go back. Now, when you green. So when you eat greens, okay, so green has, so the last word in green is sulforaphane. Now, sulforaphane is such a powerful compound which you get in broccoli and green leafy vegetables, which is amazing to reverse diabetes, okay, which is amazing, okay, for your gut bacteria, all right. Harshit, I'm going to answer that question. Just park that for a while. So, this is, the message is eat more and more colors, okay. In fact, yeah, so when you eat white, you get different compounds. In fact, one slide is there, Harshit, which is going to answer your question. So just wait for 10 minutes. Okay. So again, when you have 80% people do not have enough yellow and orange, okay. Around 76% people do not have enough purple and blue. So when you have different colors, okay, you get more and more nutrients. Now, I really want to, share one learning to all of you, which is a real life learning. Okay. So on a normal day basis, I see around 18-20 patients who have different kinds of lifestyle disease, fatty liver, diabetes, cancers, kidney problem, and blood pressure, cholesterol. And with the right food, we can help them reverse. That is what we expertise. Now, when we see patients on a normal day, so we have a 2-page form that we ask them to fill. आप सुबह कितने बजे उठते हैं, पूरे दिन में आप क्या खाते हैं, पेट साफ होता है नहीं होता है, gas acidity होता है नहीं होता है, how is your quality of sleep, a lot of things we understand. So one thing that which we ask them is पूरे दिन में आप खाना क्या खाते हैं, all right? And hear this very carefully. 90% people answer saying when they get up, सुबह वो चाय बिस्किट लेते हैं, फिर नाश्ते में पोहा भुजिया something like that, फिर lunch which is normal घर का रोटी सब्जी दाल चावल, शाम को चाय बिस्किट and रात को dinner. So lunch and dinner is normal घर का रोटी सब्जी दाल चावल. Now someone who eats like this, imagine apart from lunch and dinner को एक सेकंड के लिए साइड में रखते हैं. Apart from lunch and dinner, वो इंसान पूरे दिन में कितना प्लांट फूड खाता है, कितना फाइबर खाता है, कितना एंटीऑक्सीडेंट खाता है? Hardly anything. And when you eat like this every single day, what happens is your immunity goes down. You don't get nutrients, you don't get vitamin, minerals, and disease starts building up. This is what I see every single day. So my message number 2, and now compared to this, if there is someone who gets up, has good amount of fruits, then he has sprouts along with his breakfast. For lunch ke pehle he has a bowl of salad, red, yellow, green capsicum, gajar, beet, all of that. Evening he has again a fruit, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, all of that. Dinner again, normal dinner, but have a bowl of salad. Same, both of them are having same lunch and dinner. But apart from lunch and dinner, one person is eating lot of nutrients and another person is eating no nutrients. Making sense? So what is lunch and dinner for all of us will be normal ghar ka roti sabzi dal chawal. But what are we doing apart from lunch and dinner is very, very important if you want to create long-term disease-free life. And that is where majority people go wrong. All right. So my second message for all of you is eat more colors. Just remember this. पूरे दिन में आप कितने natural plant foods खा रहे हो, कितने अलग-अलग colorful वो खा रहे हो. That is very, very important. Okay. So that is something all of you should remember. Next. Now there is something known as pH scale. 0 to 14 is the scale. 7 is neutral. 7 to 14 is alkaline. 0 to 7 is acidic. Okay. Now all of you tell me which one according to you is the best. Is it alkaline or is it acidic? So body में ज़्यादा alkaline होना अच्छा है या acidic होना अच्छा है? That is something which is very, very important for our for if the system has to be healthy. Correct. So you just write AL, I will understand. You just write AL or AC. So is all right. So perfect. So body tends to be on the alkaline side, and that is something which is very, very important for all of us. Now, blood has a pH of 7.35 to 7.45. So body tends to be on the alkaline side and with the pH between 7.35 to 7.45. Now, let us understand this. Next, blood has a pH of 7.35 to 7.45, which is slightly alkaline. Milk has a pH of around 6, which is acidic in nature. Okay. One of the worst things on this planet is cold drinks, soft drinks, aerated drinks, pH 2 to 3. Imagine, we need to be on the alkaline side and the pH of soft drinks, aerated drinks is 2 to 3, which is very, very damaging. So when we have more plant foods, body tends to be on the alkaline side. And when we have processed foods, okay, junk foods, processed foods, deep fried, then body tends to be on the acidic side. Now it takes a lot of effort for the body to make those acidic environment into alkaline, which is very, very important. So a lot of vitamin, minerals get depleted. So third message for all of you is that body needs to be alkaline, and the only way body can be alkaline is not by drinking alkaline water, but by you having a lot of foods which can make your system very, very alkaline. All right, next. Now, answering the question, there's one question by Harshit. Yes. So answering your question now, now we need to understand what science says, right? Now, Yagnesh is asking beer or hard drink, what pH? Excellent question. So Yagnesh, in fact, so beer has a lot of sugar, at highly acidic, pH around 3. But to all the people who like drinking, my issue with drinking is something else. It is not drinking per se, but it is when you do a lot of munching. Okay, so when you're drinking, you enjoy drinking once in 15 days or once or twice a month, fine, understandable. But when you sit for drinking, you have chips, you have bhujia, you have your makkan, all of those chaknas and all of that deep fried stuff. That is not okay. So social drinking, once in a while, once in blue moon, enjoying here and there is okay. But again, try and avoid beer because it has a lot of sugar. So comparatively, wine is comparatively much better. But again, in moderation, not a good idea to drink too much. Now, let's understand what science says. Just that, there's someone who does reverse disease with food and he's invited, and he'll come and say something and you will understand and you will listen. That is not how things work. You need to understand what science says. So there is something known as blue zones. Okay. Now what is blue zones? Blue zones is a big study which was done by National Geography. Okay, so there's a large study done by National Geography. If you just Google also blue zones, National Geography, you get a lot of data. Now, National Geography did a long study where they selected a lot of places in the world where people live the longest and people live the healthiest. All right. So in all, there are 7 places. There are 7 places which comes under blue zone where people live the longest and people live the healthiest. Okay. And so which is a good sign. So we know that people live 100 years, 110 years, and not just live long. Otherwise you might say it is the genes which are playing a role, but they also live healthy, which means in all these places, 80 years, 85 years, just go back 80 years, 85 years, people are, going to office, they are working, 85 years, people are going on a bike. Okay. So they're fit, fine, healthy, even in their 80s and 90s. Now, this is something which is very interesting because this is what is science. It's a long study, 100 years plus, and we can learn something from here. Okay. Now, so let us understand what people did in all of these places. So there are 7 places. Now, China, in fact, the question of Harshit had a question which said that China, everyone are non-vegetarian. Do countries like China where everyone are non-vegetarian, do that countries have worse data than shown about India? So let me tell you something. If you look at data, number one in terms of diabetic country in the world, which has highest number of diabetes, which is that? China. India is number 2. Number 1 diabetic population is in China. Now, Harshit, rural China was excellent. There are so many data on rural China 100 years back, 150 years back, and what they did, why cancer rates were very less. But once processed food, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, all of that started going and being there in China as well, they are as bad as America. So we need to understand something. Blue zones में China आता नहीं है. So there is something known as Okinawa. Okinawa is a place in Japan. So Japan is not under blue zone, but there is this place known as Okinawa in Japan, which comes under blue zones. All right. So there are 7 places which fulfills the criteria of being under blue zones. Next, let us see what people did. What can we learn from there? So if you look at this 3, we have selected 3 of these places out of blue zone. And what are the common things that we can learn? So first learning was that in all these places, there were no gym. Okay. No gym in all these places, which were the healthiest in the world. Okay. Does that mean gym is bad? No. But the message is that in all these places, okay, in all these places, people were very active throughout the day. Okay. So when patients tell us कि हम सुबह 1 घंटा gym में जाएं, we tell them आप gym में जाइए 1 घंटा, but पूरे दिन बैठे नहीं रहना है. Okay. Which means that be active throughout the day, which is very, very important and which was learned from all these places in blue zones. अगर चर्च जाना है तो वो 4 बार चल के जाएंगे. किसी friend के यहाँ जाना है, so वो लोग 2 बार चल के जाएंगे. So they were very active throughout the day rather than just doing something physically active for an hour or so. So that was learning number 1. Learning number 2, in all these places, 95% plus, okay, the habits of people were plant-based. Animal foods, processed foods were very, very less. In fact, Okinawa, Japan, if you see, 98% people were plant-based eaters. So no animal food, no dairy, no junk foods, very, very less animal food, occasionally, when they're celebrating festivals, but 95% plus were plant-based. Another common learning was Yes, Pratik, correct. So Ikigai also highlights a lot about blue zones. They do mention in that book. They do mention about blue zones. Uh, Another learning was no smoking. In all these places, people rarely smoked, or just occasionally something like that. A lot of consumption of legumes, so rajma, chola, all of that. They're very, very high in nutrients. Okay, so there are a lot of common things that we can learn, and that is something we should apply. Have you guys heard about sweet potato? All right, sweet potato, sakargandi, which comes under top 10 or top 15 foods in this planet. And there are a lot of places in blue zones where people eat a lot of sweet potatoes, right? So that is something that we need to understand. Next. Now, there are basic suggestions for you to look into now. Next, so if you have any of these ailments, some things can help. Diabetes. So again, the good news is winter is coming. In winter, we get so many fruits and vegetables which are amazing for good health. So broccoli, which you get in winters, October, November, December, January. Broccoli is very good for diabetes. Bhindi is very, very good for people who have diabetes or pre-diabetes. All the beans family, beans and barbati, all of those green family is very, very good. Purple cabbage. Purple cabbage is excellent for people because purple cabbage makes, helps your pancreas make more insulin naturally. So your sugar level goes down. Kundru is, again, I don't know if you guys understand what is kundru. So it is like parwal hota hai. So kundru is parwal ki tarah chota hota hai. Again, a green vegetable, which is very, very good for diabetes and heart. Next. So for blood pressure and heart, we have things like pomegranate, we have carrot, we have beetroot, green leafy vegetable, nuts and seeds. All of these, you guys have heard nuts and seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, yes or no? You guys understood what is flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds? Amazing. Yes, so nuts and seeds are very, very powerful when it comes to overall health or reversing disease. Excellent in terms of nutrient. I mean, that is one of the things which is really undervalued. People don't understand the power of chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds. Flax seeds is so easily available. It is also known as alsi ka beej in Hindi. Now, flax seeds, so many studies have shown you have 2 to 3 spoons of flax seed powder every single day. And it really helps reversing or preventing breast cancer. So many studies shown that you have 3 to 4 spoons of flaxseed powder helps in reversing or preventing high blood pressure. So very, very powerful. Nuts and seeds, almond, walnuts, all of these. We just need to bring them into our day-to-day habit and practice. Next. Fatty liver, you have radish, you have ripe papaya, you have raw papaya, you have broccoli, you have garlic, pomegranates, so many things are available which are excellent for fatty liver. Next, cancer. Again, you look at data, you look at cancer, you look at data. So many, so much increase in rates of cancer in last 30 years. In fact, I was talking to one of the oncologists from Surat, and we were in one of the lectures together yesterday, and we were just discussing about the rates of cancer in Surat and in Gujarat, and the data is shocking. Okay, and again, where were cancers 50 years back, 100 years back? People were eating a lot of fiber. Okay, a lot of fiber. So that is something which we really need to understand, that fiber intake is really not there. And that is something that we really need to ensure that we are eating enough fiber. So again, for cancer, green leafy vegetable, beans, spring onions, seeds, garlic, so many things are available which people can have. Next. Intermittent fasting. Have you guys heard? Yes, no. What is intermittent fasting? So this is before I explain what is intermittent fasting and should we do it, should we not do it. I want to ask one simple question to all of you. When anybody has fever, okay, when anybody has fever, do they feel like eating more or do they feel like eating less? Tell me that. When anybody has fever, do they feel like eating more or do they feel like eating less? Yes, less. All of us understand this, right? So now, let us understand why. So there is something known as the gut. Okay, so there is something known as the gut, and gut is very, very important. Gut means the entire area of our large intestine and small intestine, which is there in our stomach, that is known as the gut. Okay, now gut has billions of bacteria. ध्यान से समझिए. So जो gut bacteria है उसका दो काम है, या तो खाने को digest करे, okay, या तो खाना को digest करे, या फिर body को साफ करे. So when we have fever, body is not interested in digestion. Body wants to clean the system. के अंदर में जो infection है जिसके कारण fever हुआ उसको system से बाहर निकालना है. Similarly, when we are doing intermittent fasting, 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours, whatever, your body is not digesting. Your body is focusing on cleaning the system. All right, which means, so what is it? So next, intermittent fasting is after your dinner, you do not eat for minimum 12 hours. Okay, next, Shireen. So after your dinner, you do not eat minimum 12 hours is intermittent fasting. A lot of people do 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours. Minimum 12 hours is recommended. 14, 15 hours also is okay. Which means if you finish your dinner at say 8 o'clock in the night, morning you start at 8 o'clock, which is 12 hours, intermittent fasting, which everybody should do. A lot of people do 14 hours. You finish you finish around 7 o'clock, and morning you get up and you eat something at 9 o'clock. So that is 14 hours, which is also okay. A lot of benefits. So it really helps in fat loss. It really helps in improving brain function, reduces inflammation, which is one of the root cause of all lifestyle diseases, blood pressure. It helps reducing sugar level, helps in aging, which is very, very important. So minimum 12 hours. Yes, Soumya. So if anybody wants to lose weight, intermittent fasting will help, but intermittent fasting has benefit beyond weight loss, which is also very, very important. Okay. So you can do a minimum 12 or 13 hours of intermittent fasting. Next. Great. So something we can have in non-eating window. No. So if you're doing intermittent fasting, so 12 hours is plain water or lemon water is fine, but you don't eat anything in that intermittent fasting window. Otherwise, then you're not fasting, right? So few things that is very, very good for healthy living. Number one is green leafy vegetables. Okay. Cruciferous vegetable like broccoli and all of that. Onion, beans, drumsticks. Do you guys understand drumstick? Yes or no? Drumstick, do you guys understand? Yes or no? So it is in most South Indian foods, you know. And what do you call in your city? I think, you know, in Bengal and other places, people call Sajna Datha or, you know, something like I was doing a lecture in Maharashtra. There they call, you know, I think Sargav or something like that. What do you call in Varanasi? What do you call in Varanasi? What do you call drumstick in Varanasi? Do you call drumstick or do you call something else? So again, onion, beans, drumsticks, amazing. Yeah, in Gujarati it is called, yeah, moringa, correct. A lot of people call moringa, yes. Shivga, Sajjan, yes, correct, yeah. So amazing, you know, number one, guys, I want everyone to understand this. Number one, if I have to choose one thing which is master stroke for immunity, it is drumstick. Master stroke for immunity, it is drumstick. Okay, I really want all of you to start eating more and more drumstick. Okay, now papaya, pomegranate, nuts and seeds, these are the things which are very, very good for long-term good health and reversing disease. Few things that you should really avoid on a day-to-day basis. So number one is again next, Shireen. So few things you should avoid is red meat. Number one cancer causing is red meat. Okay, again, maida is something which is not a good idea. Packet foods. No, Jignesh, intermittent fasting doesn't mean skipping breakfast. All intermittent fasting means, Jignesh, is you finish your dinner at a particular time. From that time, minimum 12 hours, you don't eat. So if you finish your dinner at 8 o'clock, you start eating after 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay, if you do 14 hours, you finish your dinner at 7:38. Morning you start at 9:30, 10. That is intermittent fasting. Okay, so after that you can eat whatever you fruits or whatever you want to eat. So again, fried foods, white sugar, packet foods, all of that. So Shelly, Instead of white sugar, jaggery is a good option. Good is a good substitute for white sugar. Okay. Next. So basic do's and don'ts, which I want all of you to understand. So number one is focus on eating fruits in empty stomach. All right. Fruits only in empty stomach. Yes, Varun, fruit should be avoided after meals or with meals. Fruit are only empty stomach. So first thing in the morning, fruits are very, very good. That is something that you can really have. All right. And seasonal, focus more on seasonal fruits, sitafal. We give sitafal to a lot of diabetic people. We give mango to a lot of diabetic people. It doesn't increase your sugar levels. You need to understand how to eat and why to eat and when to eat. So seasonal fruit are very, very important. Okay. But empty stomach. Next. Second is green vegetable. I mean, you like potato, you eat potato, no problem. But focus on green vegetable also, which is very, very important. So with at least one of the two meals, you should eat green vegetables, which are very, very important. Whatever you like, but include green vegetables. Next. Now this is very, very important, especially for the kids. Gadgets and meals. Okay. So many children have the habit, they will not eat without watching phones or TV or iPad, which is not a good idea. When you eat by focusing on any gadgets, your entire focus is there. Digestion is being compromised. Okay, the digestion is compromised, which is again not a good idea. Okay, can we have everyone on mute, please? Yeah. So digestion is compromised, which is not a good idea. And so when you're eating, there's something known as mindful eating. You need to just focus and eat. Okay, so it takes 15 minutes, but at least try and eat mindfully. Next is avoid these things, maida, processed foods, milk product, maida, deep fried. All of these things are not okay. That really increases your risk for lifestyle diseases. Okay, and next is minimum 30 to 60 minutes of exercise, so yoga, cardio, whatever you can, but 30 to 60 minutes of exercise in a day is something which is really recommended. Okay, and when you do all of these things, they become your good habits. Next. Now this is very, very, yes, Shashank, you can have water during intermittent fasting. That is okay, right? Now this is one of my favorite slides, and I want all of you to understand this very, very carefully. Good health. Okay, so what we need, all of us, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, we should be fit, fine, healthy. And one of the things in last 6-7 years, we have been seeing so many patients reversing their diabetes completely, from insulin to non-insulin, liver cirrhosis, fatty liver, reversing it completely, kidney issues, cholesterol, blood pressure, completely reversing. One thing that all of them have done, who have reversed their disease, they have focused on all these 4 pillars of good health. Number 1 is food and nutrition. Okay. Number 2 is physically being active. Number 3 is good sleep. Sleep is very, very important, and we cannot compromise the quality of sleep. There are so many people who come to us who have bad quality sleep, and with the right food, you can make their sleep much, much better. And number 4 is emotional health. Emotionally, they should be not creating so much stress, and you cannot take a lot of garbage in your mind. So when you focus on these 4 important pillars, food and nutrition, physically being active, good sleep, and emotional health, what you do is you create good health. And you need to focus on all of these 4 things. You cannot leave any one of them. Somebody is not eating healthy, okay, and then he says, is not sleeping properly, not active physically, and then he'll say कि हम आलू नहीं खाते उससे weight बढ़ता है. It doesn't happen like that. You focus on these 4 pillars. Once in a while, everything is okay, right? Next. And when you eat right and when you eat good, all you get is good health. So I want all of you to focus on these 4 pillars. And once you do that, you can really, create good health and reverse disease. So 5 important message for all of you before I take more question and answer. Number 1, eat more plant foods. Number 2, eat more colors. Red, yellow, green capsicum, carrot, broccoli. Eat more and more colors. Number 3, focus on making the system more alkaline and not acidic. Number 4 is focus on 4 pillars of good health. And number 5 is remember what you do day to day is important and not what you do once in a while. So once in a while you want to enjoy, you want to eat out, it's okay. But day to day, what you do is very, very important. And that is what I really want all of you to focus on, right? Great. Now you can, keep asking questions. Let's keep interacting one by one. But I want all of you to understand this, that, one of the most unfortunate part is that we all have been told that people who have thyroid, who have diabetes, who have, blood pressure, cholesterol, आपको lifelong इसकी गोली लेनी पड़ेगी. That is what we have been told. You have diabetes, you are given medicine, lifelong lena hai. You have high blood pressure, you keep on taking medicine. But we need to understand that all of these are not lifelong disease. They are lifestyle disease. So if you improve your lifestyle, if you improve your food and all of those things, you can really, really become much, much better. All right. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Kunal. Thank you so much, all the team out there, for getting this organized. We can take a lot of questions now so that they can clear their doubts.
So guys, you can just type your questions in the chat box.
Shireen, if you can just help me one by one with all the questions, we can take all of them.
Okay, Karan, one of the question is, can we eat fruits after 4 p.m. or should we consume it before for healthy life?
All right. So as I mentioned, fruits is only empty stomach. All right. So you can take 2 times, one in the morning, which is around 8:39, whatever, and another around 5:30 in the evening, because both these times you are empty stomach.
Okay. One question from my side is, should we have something before our morning exercise or we should eat post that? And if what?
All right. So ideally, I will want empty stomach. But in case you have the habit of having something, then best would be a banana, almond, walnut, or something like that.
Okay. Is wheat flour or as harmful as maida?
Maida is more harmful than wheat. And wheat, again, there are a lot of people who are allergic to gluten. So for them, wheat is not a good idea. But otherwise, maida, all of us should avoid or minimize. But wheat, whole wheat, once in a while is okay.
Okay. Does avoiding wheat really helps in weight loss?
Yes, it does, but again, not great 1 to 2 kgs. However, wheat should be avoided by people who are allergic to gluten. All right. And the best way to know it is just leave it for a week, 10 days, and see if your digestion is better, your bloating, all of that is better. Then you can really get an understanding. But otherwise, for majority of us, there's no need for us to avoid wheat.
Okay. Best source of protein for vegetarians in daily
That's
food?
amazing. That's a good question. And I want all of you to understand this. All of you to understand this. Now, unfortunately, we believe that vegetarians, as vegetarians, we don't get enough protein. Now, this is really not a good idea. Okay. Okay, let's understand. Under proteins, there are 3 classes: animal protein, artificial protein like protein powder, protein supplement, and natural plant protein. Okay. The best way to get good protein is plant protein, because you don't just get protein, you get fiber, vitamin, minerals, so many things. Okay. Now, unfortunately, people think vegetarian mein protein nahi milta hai, so they resort to artificial protein and animal protein, which is not a good idea because that puts a lot of load on the kidney. Now, good sources of protein, if I have to mention, I'll be sharing around 5 to 7 names. But if anybody needs more, you can just drop in their email ID. We have entire PDF of good source of plant protein, which we can email it to you. So number 1 is chia seeds. Chia seeds have good amount of protein. Number 2 is pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds, now imagine, we all know that dal has good amount of protein, but per 100 gram dal has 9 grams of protein, and per 100 gram pumpkin seeds have 24 grams of protein, right? So amazing source of plant protein. Sprouts have a lot of protein. Rajma, chola, all of that has good protein. Sattu has excellent source of protein. Palak, okay, has good amount of protein. So there are n number of sources. Broccoli has good amount of plant protein. Abhi winter mein matar milega, matar, which is excellent source of plant protein. So, and the list goes on. There are n number of sources of plant protein that we can add on a day-to-day basis. And we need not go to artificial protein at all, because it is not about protein or no protein. It is with what type of protein that you eat, which is very, very important.
Okay. The next question is, these days, dietitian recommend not to have wheat. So what's your...
See, again, it is more of a herd mentality. Ke wheat nahi khana hai, wheat chhodiye. But I'm again saying, if you are allergic to gluten, then you avoid wheat. If you're okay eating roti, why will you not eat roti? So just don't worry.
Okay. Are prebiotic or probiotics good?
Yeah, they are good, but natural. I'll give you a classic example. In fact, this is a very, very important thing which can help a lot of people who have constipation, gastric issue, colitis, gut-related problem. Have you guys, anyone heard about fermented rice or panta bhat? Okay, it is very simple. हमारे घर में चावल बनता है खाने में. Just take 2 spoon of cooked rice. उसको आप 1 glass पानी में डालिए. 2 spoon of cooked rice in 3-4 glass or 1 glass of water. Overnight, let it be soaked. Morning, when you get up, first thing in the morning, you just drink that 1 glass of water and take that 2 spoon of overnight soaked cooked rice, वो 2 चम्मच चावल खाना है, and वो आधा पौना glass पानी पीना है. Very simple. This is known as fermented rice, or locally it is known as panta bhat. This is excellent source of probiotic. Excellent source of probiotic, okay, which is very, very good for your gut bacteria, right? So, and this is one example. There are a lot of natural sources of probiotic and prebiotic which we can take, which we should take, which is very, very good for overall health.
Okay. After surgery, we can avoid any foods because doctors said no, our elders should not eat.
I did not understand this question.
Yeah, even I didn't. After surgery, can
what
we
surgery?
avoid foods?
What surgery?
I don't know.
Let's go to the next question.
Yeah. Alkaline foods.
Okay, so if you focus more on eating more plant foods, then you will be eating a lot of alkaline foods. Different plant foods have different alkaline level, so we should not worry about that. Let us focus on overall eating plant foods, and our body will be alkaline.
Okay. Is ragi flour good for weight loss?
Ragi is good because it has a lot of fiber. It has a lot of benefits. See, do not focus on weight loss. Let me tell this to everyone. Focus on building good system. Weight loss has to be a byproduct of becoming better. Weight loss has to be a byproduct of eating right. Do not see, there are 10 things which might be good for weight loss. Not eating is good for weight loss. But is that good? No. So you need to eat right and lose weight. It is never about eating less. It is always about eating right.
Any particular drink to increase your immune system?
See, again, immunity is a multifactorial subject, and you need to do a lot of things. So 5 things which are very good for immunity. Drumstick is amazing for immunity. So maybe drumstick you can add in your soup, which will really help. Number 2 is pumpkin seeds, amazing for immunity. Okay. Number 3 is coconut water and lemon. Whoever wants something to drink for immunity, डाब का पानी होता है ना, so डाब का पानी हमेशा fresh पीना चाहिए. उसको आप काटेंगे, उसमें half lemon डालो. You drink coconut water and lemon. Vitamin C goes up 10 times when you drink coconut water and lemon. Immunity के लिए excellent drink. Okay. Next is onions, onion, garlic, turmeric. Onion, garlic, turmeric are found mostly in majority of the homes. All these 3 things are very, very good for immunity. Okay, so खाने lunch dinner के साथ कच्चा प्याज खाइए, very, very good for immunity. Another thing that you can add for immunity is red capsicum. Okay, red capsicum has a lot of vitamin C, more vitamin C than orange and musambi, and it has again phytonutrients. So जो color आप पढ़ें, so red color has so many immunity fighting nutrients that you can really add to your food.
Okay. Can sprouts be taken every day, or we should give some gap?
Sprouts is every day, no problem.
Any particular food to overcome PCOD?
No, so there is something known as PCOD. Now, PCOD is a hormonal issue. All right. So a lot of women have PCOD issue, which is a hormonal problem. Now, absolutely reversible and preventable issue. But again, they don't treat the hormonal imbalance, and therefore they continue with it lifelong. One thing which, so again, eating right will really help. Two things that you should do. One, eat foods that will really help reverse PCOD. And number two, avoid foods that will trigger more hormonal imbalance. So foods that can really help. Number one is coriander seeds, gota dhania. All right, gota dhania, coriander seeds is something which is very, very good. करना क्या है, 2 चम्मच गोटा धनिया 1 गिलास पानी में डालो, ओवरनाइट सोक. सुबह जब आप उठो बस छान के पानी पीना है, गरम नहीं करना. जस्ट strain and have the water of coriander seeds. It is excellent for PCOD and PCOS. Okay. Number 2 is chia seeds. 2 चम्मच chia seed in half glass of water. Just half glass of water, 2 चम्मच chia seed. आप 15-20 minutes soak करिए. You just drink that water and gulp the chia seed down. Excellent for thyroid and PCOD. All right. Now, 2-3 things you should really avoid. Number one is milk product. Whoever has thyroid, diabetes, or PCOD, you should really not consume dairy, because milk product, see, milk these days are not pure. There are a lot of injections, a lot of hormones added to milk so that they can produce more cow. Every time you have milk tea, chhena, paneer, you will get a lot of those hormones which will trigger hormonal imbalances. And thyroid is a hormonal issue. PCOS is a hormonal issue. So avoid dairy, avoid deep fried, and avoid maida. They will really, really trigger hormonal imbalances.
Okay. Do the plant-based food has and covers all the required vitamins and minerals, or do we need to supplement for anything?
So there are 4 things which are not available. Who asked this question? It's a very good question. There are 4 things which are not available in plant foods. Number 1 is B12. Number 2 is vitamin D3. Number 3 is vitamin K2. K2 is like a driver. So आपके body में calcium तो खाना पीना से बहुत calcium मिलता है plant food से. You don't need milk at all for calcium. और plant food में भर भर के milk आता है. If you look at top 10 sources of milk, you don't get milk. If you look at top 10 sources of calcium, you don't get milk in that. So you get a lot of calcium from plant foods, but calcium सही जगह पे जाए. That is the role of vitamin K2. So B12, D3, K2, and long chain omega-3. These 4 things you don't get easily in plant food. So in case anybody is deficient in that, then you can supplement for that. But otherwise, you get most of the other things from plant foods.
Okay. Foods for increasing hemoglobin.
So there is this, so a lot of foods can help. So the best is, there is something known as kule khada. All right. So let me just type the spelling for everyone. Kule khada. So, okay. So kule khada. So kule khada is a leaf. Or rather a green leaf which is available easily. Kule khada is very, very good in case you want to increase your hemoglobin. This really increases hemoglobin very, very quickly. All right. Kule khada is wait, in fact, let me send this to everyone so that everybody can read this. Kule khara is a leaf. आपको boil करके इसका पानी पीना है. Kule khara is very, very good for increasing hemoglobin. All right. And that is something that we should really add. And apart from this, pomegranate can help. Khajur and anjeer really helps for increasing hemoglobin. Green leafy vegetables can help. In winters, you get lal saag, all those bhaji which are red in color, that really helps increase hemoglobin a lot.
Okay. The earlier question, any surgery, normally our elders say not eat certain food till stitches cured.
Sorry, any surgery?
Any surgery normally for our elders till the stitches get cured. Any normal surgeries for the elders?
It depends from person to person. Appendix will have something else. Chemotherapy will have something else. So it has to be more disease specific.
Okay. Do eating leftover foods affect your digestive system or immunity?
Amazing question. Amazing question. The question I'll repeat for everyone. Somebody is asking that do eating leftover food कि कल बनाया कल नहीं खाया बच गया तो आज खाते हैं गरम करके. Not a good idea. I have so many Indian patients who stay in US and UK. So we have many Indian patients who stay in US and UK. And when I talk to them, So जब पहले उनका कंसल्टेशन चलता है, starting में try and understand what they do, they have this bad habit. वहाँ पे वो बोलते हैं सुबह तो हमको टाइम नहीं मिलता है, हम रात को ही खाना बना के फ्रिज में रख देते हैं, सुबह गर्म करके खाते हैं. Not a good idea. When you do this, you are reheating, recooking, which really kills the good bacteria that are there in the food. So not a good idea.
Okay. It's usually said that the Indian cooking style usually eliminates the vitamins and nutrients. What is your take and
It's
advice?
not the Indian cooking style, but yes, two things we need to remember, that overcooking is not a good idea, and reheating is not a good idea. That kills a lot of nutrients. But otherwise, if you just cook normally, it's okay.
Okay. How to take care of thyroid, which is just on a borderline?
So I mentioned about coriander seeds that can really help. Chia seeds can help a lot. White sesame seeds, safed til, is #1 source of calcium in this planet. Okay, that also really helps for thyroid. Apart from that, there are a lot of other foods that can help. Avoiding maida, milk product, deep fried packet foods will also help. But yes, we need to understand that TSH, which is a biomarker for thyroid, has to be below 4 or 5. And it is absolutely reversible. If you have not started medicine, you will not need it. Even if you have started 25 mg, 12.5, within a quarter, 3 to 4 months, you can reverse it. Not a problem.
Okay. Food for iron deficiency other than spinach. Food for reversing insulin dependent diabetes.
So again, yeah, so insulin is a hormone which is made by our body, which helps bring down sugar levels. Now, 5 foods which can really help reverse insulin resistance or helps you become from diabetic to non-diabetic. 5 foods that can really help. #1 is bhindi. Bhindi seeds are very, very good for body to make naturally more insulin. Purple cabbage, as I told you, is very, very good for diabetic people. Drumstick is another food which really helps. Chia seeds, very, very important. Intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting can really help for all diabetic people. For you have extra insulin in your body, which can be used properly if you maintain a good amount of 14 hours of intermittent fasting.
Okay. Last 2 questions. Polycystic kidney can be reversal.
Yes. Yeah, it can be.
Okay. Pressure cooker mein cooking is good or not? The last question.
Pressure cooker is okay, but microwave you should try and avoid.
Okay. One more question just poured in. Can apple Kivender vinegar be had every morning?
So okay, apple cider vinegar is a prebiotic, which like probiotic, it is also beneficial. So the best way to take apple cider vinegar, 1 teaspoon, put it in 1 glass of water, 30 minutes before lunch and dinner. 30 minutes before lunch, 30 minutes before dinner can really help, as a prebiotic and for your good gut health. So can be taken 1 teaspoon in 1 glass of water, either before lunch or before dinner or both. 30 minutes prior to the meals is a very effective way to take apple cider vinegar. Right. Thank you so much, Pratik, for all that help. Thank you so